Hello everyone, Kolonji Murray with TaxAssurances. Just want to do a helpful video around filing back taxes. So one of the things that I come across every tax season is a situation, or situations for that matter, where people have old tax returns that they need to prepare. So let's say we're in 2025, but they haven't done their 2021, 2022, 2023 tax return. So what I've done in the past is I've sat down with them and tried to get an understanding of what the last tax return that they did looked like. That way I kind of have a base to work from. So let's say they've got the 2020 return. Obviously I'm going to want to, like I said, take a look at that. And then we start the process of getting the information together to prepare the subsequent returns. The reason why I want to get that last return is that way I can, like I said, get a base understanding of what has been going on. So for instance, if you have a regular 9-to-5 job, if that's still the circumstances, I can kind of use that as a base. If you've got children, you have a spouse, if you have a business, you have investment accounts, if you've got student loans, if you've got the college tuition, if you've got real estate, all of those details, for instance, like HSA accounts, all of those details are going to be helpful for someone like me to be able to request the information that I'm going to need to do the subsequent returns that need to be filed. So it's a situation where at the base level, I'll want to get the income that you made. So that involves getting the W-2s. If you have a business, getting an understanding of whether it's the bank statements, if you've got payment system where you're using like a Squared or a PayPal to get your revenue for your business. If you're getting checks, then we're looking at bank statements. Obviously getting your children's information, your spousal information, expenses for any businesses. If you've got real estate, then getting an understanding of what the rental income was for the real estate, what the property taxes are, what the interest on the mortgage is, what supplies that you may have bought to do repairs on all of those variables, I'm going to want to request from you. And then obviously the important part is making sure that I get it for each one of the years that you need to have a return filed. So that's the important part, really, that information gathering process. Then once that happens, like I said, we go into a situation where we attack year by year by year. We don't want to rush through and necessarily like overlap and get confused with various years. We want to be able to distinguish what years need to be addressed and then looking to address them appropriately. And then finally, obviously, once we get all that information together, preparing the returns, going over the returns, and then filing the returns so that both the IRS and the state that the taxpayer and the the spouses involved was living in, so that we satisfy the state filing requirements. So that's how I would handle filing old tax returns. Again, getting all the information, getting updated information, and then accurately reflecting that information on the return, and then subsequently, we're looking to file the return. Obviously, if you've got more questions around that, you can reach out. But until then, talk to you soon.